Morning, it's the 30th of July. We've got here I think it's a 97 or a 98 Defender 110 300 TDI. It must be one of the last ones. And it came in with a non-starting problem. It was towed in. Somebody's been at it before and they were playing around in the dash and they broke the little tang off here, and you can see it's already been repaired once. So I said, get a new switch. Well, they got the whole assembly, which isn't too bad, but in order to replace this you've got to take it out anyway. And fortunately somebody's been in this before, what a surprise, and replaced the shear bolts with Allen bolts. That was a good thing, so it was easy to get in and out. But it is in a bit of a state. Now let me tell you about these. I started to film all this fault finding and why it wouldn't start, but it was one of them days where every man and his dog was down here and it was stop start, so I couldn't get anywhere. So I thought I'd just tell you the edited highlights of what I was doing. Now this car is equipped with one of these little green boxes here, the old 10AS alarm, but it doesn't come with the key fob. So it was practically armed. I say practically because there's more to it than meets the eye. Under the wing at the front, on the driver's side over here, there's supposed to be a sounder, like an alarm, and a battery backup. Well, they've gone missing, I don't know where they are. But to be honest, am I going to fix this 10AS alarm? No, because they were an absolute pain in the arse. They suffered greatly from dry joints, solder joints, so we're bypassing it. Now, had I have known at the time this was a 10AS alarm and things like this, we could have saved ourselves quite a bit of time in fault finding wiring. Let me take the camera off and I'll show you. You can see I've taken the seat out of here because those seats are not Defender seats. I don't know what the hell they are, but they're screwed on here with these little tiny bolts, so there's no access to get to the battery box. And you can see somebody's put a great big new battery in it, thinking that might have been the problem, but it wasn't. This was the problem. This is the alarm box here. Now I'd only seen those in Discovery 1s, and you could buy a spider unit to go into here, which meant I'll put a picture up and it shows you, but what it does is it bypasses the alarm, in other words. Now, I didn't have one, so what I had to do was fault find and trace the wires that went from there to the stop solenoid and to the starter motor, which I've now done. But also, just to add insult to injury, where is it down there? That one there, that relay there, it's got a little black wire, and that black wire goes all the way up to here, when it actually used to go through this alarm, so that shut off the starter. But by putting this to a good ground here, we've now eliminated all the starting and security system from this box. It's still got functions like the lights and things like this, interior lights and what have you, but basically now we're quite confident that this will start in, as long as there's a battery in charge condition, it will start. Now I've just noticed down here, well I noticed the other day, but you can see they've put a battery kill switch, great, but why have they put two posts on the ground on the same one? Why didn't this one go onto here? I don't know, but we'll fix that. And also he's asking me to fix up the, there's a Eberspacher heater in it, and that's not hooked up, so I think while we're down here and the seat's out, we'll do that. But looking in here, this car's in a bit of a mess. You can see all the water's been pouring through here, look. Same in there, look. It's been drenched, and I think when we have a look at the vents, this gives us a bit of a clue because they've put a screw through there to keep them closed, and it doesn't look like there's a seal in it. So that needs doing. But otherwise, it's not that bad. It's a project car. I'm not sure if they bought it as a non-runner, but now it starts. Actually, it runs quite well. It's got one of those double din radios, but a very, very early one, and you can't get it quite into the aperture. It's not one of those flush fit digital ones. This is a very old style, but that's not my concern. One of my concerns is here, this plastic box that's always breaking is broken or under repair. Now I know I have a little kit to, well, some drawings to reinforce this and make it better, but it's cracked everywhere, and when I took off the dash, this bit just fell out, so we haven't really got a lot to work on. And they'd use this sticky foam to hold it together, which is never a good thing. So there's that to do, to put back together. Yeah, this was full of mud and rain and all sorts of stuff, but now it starts, I'm happy. So we've got that done. Let's go and look at something else. The fuse box on this truck was an absolute nightmare. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, you can see where water's been getting in here, and eventually it gets through to the fuses, and they were all sort of white corroded. So I use this product here, which I've used before, Contact 2000, contact cleaner and electrical parts cleaner and degreaser, and it works very, very well. Just a quick spray and it gets rid of all that white corrosion. And of course I put new well, I put the fuses back in, cleaned them up, but quite a lot of the fuses, which is typical, were not the same as on that plan there. There was just put fuses in, just it's a fuse. Now look at this here. I've just noticed this here. Look at all the mud and water. This is on the bottom cowl. So I don't know if this has been waded or something like that, but it needs a lot of work. Right, what else was I going to show you? Oh yeah, they have the heater. So you can see it hasn't got a heater. Well, we took it out because the motor was gone, and we were about to put it back in, and it had a snorkel on it, but the hose that goes from here to the outer vent was missing. Well, not the hose, but this plastic bit here that goes on the inner wing like that was missing. This bit just arrived yesterday from Paddocks. This was £59 for that bit, and they couldn't even put the bloody plastic clips in. Look, isn't that incredible? So before we put the heater in, we've got to do that. Also, look at all the mountings shot. This car's never had, it's been so neglected, it's pretty bad. You can see these telltale signs looking at the top of the filter. That's never been changed. It wants a good service kit putting on it. I joined the hoses up here from the heater so we could actually run this thing with coolant in it, but before we did that we flushed it all out, and man was it filthy. It was like liquid mud inside. It did have some antifreeze in it, but oh man, it took a long time to get out. So I got them to put the antifreeze in a bucket, and they're going to take that home for disposal. I'm not disposing that here. And then we took it outside, put the steam cleaner in the hoses here, in here for the radiator, and washed it all out. Washed all the radiator out, got it all nice and clean. Even got the block plug out of the bottom down here, flushed it all out, and now we've got some pre-mix antifreeze to put in it once I get the heater in. So I'm going to have a busy day today, but that's it. Now I don't know if you probably can't see down there, but that's where the alarm sounder went. So that's it. But at least it's a runner now. You know, there's bits of the alarm switch there for the bonnet. Well, that's irrelevant now. This has got exhaust gas recirculation, and it's still fitted. It's even got the catalytic converter, probably worth more than the car. Oh, saying that, this car was bought on the assumption that it was a galvanised chassis. Well, I don't think so. It's just a regular steel chassis. It's not bad, it's pretty good, but as you can see, it's had all the tarty bits on it to make it look good, but it can look like Prince Charles's chariot for all I care, but as long as if it doesn't run, it's worthless, isn't it? So yeah, so we've got a busy day ahead of us today to finish this off, and then this can get out the way. Then the owner can piddle around with some cosmetics and whatever they want to do, but that is a problem with these older cars. If I told you what they'd paid for it, you'd faint. It was a lot of money. But like I said, they paid for it under the assumption it was a galvanised chassis. And it wasn't. So, let's get this starter boxed up. Let's do these last electrical problems and then we'll come back later. One of the worst jobs on a Land Rover is fitting the heater. Left or right hand drive, it matters not a jot. For in Land Rover's infinite wisdom, down here, let's say down there, they put a nut and bolt. Now, if you're like me, Billy no mates, and there's no one around to give you a hand, how are we going to do that? Well, we've done this before, but we'll do it again until we get it right. Captive nut. Put the captive nut in the hole. Try and hit it square. 8.5mm drill for this particular ones. There we go, dropped it on the blue floor. You can't really get into it, but you might have to just wiggle that drill around a little bit more. Like I say, don't want to go too big. Let's see if we can get that one in. If you're doing a bulkhead or anything like this, do it before you put the bulkhead in, because then you can get a good hammer swing on it. Oh, it's springing off there. Oh, it's in. Right, next. 9/16 spanner for this particular nut. 10mm head. Turn it. And there we have a captive nut. These are a very simple little tool. They've got a tiny chamfer that grips on the head of your captive nut to stop them turning. Boy, it's a warm day today. Glad I got my roof done. Well, I'm glad I got my roof prepared, should I say, not done. 2 captive nuts, dead centre. Oh, like that. Now, just before I fit this heater, we fitted a new blower motor to it. But the motors themselves can go left and right. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to the motor at all. So that's one thing. But one thing I did notice when I was putting it together, if you can see inside the connector, can you see how far this female piece is down? Well, when you put it in, it's not making a connection on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the wires off, and I'm going to fit 2 individual bullets. And the reason for that is that we're going to test it here before it goes on the car and make sure it's the right way around, because if not, we're going to be struggling to change that wire. So I might as well do it now, and then that's it. Right, so I've got quite a lot done to this. The service kit just came whilst I was doing this, which wasn't too bad. So we've got an air filter, oil filter, Mal, China. Yeah, putting the heater in's a bit of a fiddle. Well, can be a fiddle. There's 2 bolts at the top. Don't take them out when you're putting it back in. Put them back in by a couple of threads with the big spreader washer and push the heater up like that. Then you can put your 2 little captive nuts in, dead easy. Then tighten up the top. There is a gasket missing between the heater box and the heater tube. I think, I'm not sure if I'm pointing at the right one. There's a little foam gasket that takes up that discrepancy, so we haven't got that. It desperately needs the cowling. You know, the inside part of the binnacle. I'm suggesting they get one in metal because the plastic ones are just rubbish. So I can't really do a full check on this until everything's back together. So the fuse box is hanging out. Yeah, so I want to check everything because I've noticed the interior lights aren't on. It's not the end of the world, but might as well get fixed while it's here. That's it. I fastened the battery down correctly with the strap. It wasn't even put, it was just thrown in. This switch does nothing at all, so that's why it's been put onto there. I strongly suggest they put a new one on, because in the event of emergency you would have to really mess about to try and get the battery off there because of the way the seats are in. Yeah, I've got the interior lights to sort out. It's not much. I know it's got power in there, but I'm going to leave that a little bit for now. Once this Webasto thing working, maybe, I don't know. Look at all the dirt in here. It's just, look at the filth, eh? I know it's like being like a submarine, isn't it? But you can see this here is all broken. It's shattered. Somebody's put a little bracket in there. Yeah, I'm going to leave that until we get the part. But other than that, it's not too bad. Like my lights are good, aren't they? I've got another one up there. I haven't switched that on. These are the T4 LED lights. They're really nice and bright and even. I like them a lot better than my old light. Just got to think of a better way to clip them up. I've got a couple of ideas though. Anyway, that's besides the point. But when you're working in here with the light behind you, it's really, really nice. You're not working in a shadow. So that's it. So you want some vent seals desperately. There's a few nuts and bolts missing, which I've got, but that's about it. I haven't changed the coolant yet. I've got that to do. Might do that tomorrow. I've got to do that tomorrow. I'm sick of working. I get, like 5 hours non-stop's a bit too much. Oh, I'll tell you, here's another thing that you need. The hose has snapped off here, look. Shame, innit? Can you do anything with it? Not sure. Not sure. I don't know why it snapped off. I've never seen one come off there before. Anyway, it's coming on. So until we get the foam, we can't put this back on, can't put this back on. I know it sounds trivial. Hose at the back can't go on. A good tip is to take all the air cleaner and the brackets off when you're doing these heaters as well, because that gives you good access to get to that little nut and bolt, and also to get the heater into the hole. Oh, that's right, another thing here. So what I did for this thing here, I put some captive nuts on the inside of that plastic moulding, and this was already drilled out, so I changed the screws from silver, like stainless screws, to black ones, which look a bit more acceptable. So that now is all in. All that is all finished up. As you can see, you can't change that piece with the heater in. So let's do two jobs at once. Wiring's all done under the bonnet. Yeah, pretty good. Fuel filters changed, air filters changed. Just got to do a few more jobs. Oh, what's that down there? Oh, there's a strange hose clamp. I don't know where the hell that's come from. Interesting. Things you find, eh? Didn't find any money. Right, catch you later.